Boris Johnson has just hours to respond to a legal threat from the European Union over the implementation of the UK government's internal market bill, with the consequences potentially shaping the outcome of post-Brexit trade talks. Last month, Boris Johnson introduced the controversial proposed legislation as negotiations on the future relationship between London and Brussels after Brexit turned increasingly nasty. But the Prime Minister triggered outrage among European Union bureaucrats by pressing ahead with the internal market bill, which could override key elements of the Brexit withdrawal agreement with the EU and consequently, risks breaking international law. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen announced on October 1 the EU would launch legal action to prevent the UK overriding key parts of the divorce treaty. She gave the government until the end of this month, which is today, to respond to a formal letter of notice, but at the time, did not say what action might follow if the UK does not provide a satisfactory response. But under the terms of the withdrawal agreement signed last year, the EU could potentially take Britain to the European Court of Justice, blowing a huge hole in hopes of a post-Brexit trade deal between the two sides. In a press statement at the Commission headquarters in Brussels, Ms. von der Leyen said, "This draft bill is by its very nature a breach of the obligation of good faith laid down in the withdrawal agreement." The deadline lapsed yesterday. The problematic provisions have not been removed, therefore the Commission has decided this morning to send a letter of formal notice to the UK government. This is the first step in an infringement procedure. The letter invites the UK government to send its observations within a month. In response, Downing Street said the government would respond to the letter from the EU in due course. A spokesman said, "We have clearly set out our reasons for introducing the measures related to the Northern Ireland Protocol. We need to create a legal safety net to protect the integrity of the UK's internal market, ensure ministers can always deliver on their obligations to Northern Ireland and protect the gains from the peace process." Number 10 insists the legislation is needed to protect the Northern Ireland peace process if Britain is unable to secure a deal with the EU. The government is proposing limited clarifications to the law to ensure ministers can preserve the gains of the Good Friday Agreement in the event of a no-deal outcome between the two sides. Last month during an emergency meeting between the EU and UK, European Commission Vice President Maros Sefcovic told Cabinet Office Minister Mr. Gove the EU is rejecting the argument legislation is needed to protect the peace process in Northern Ireland. In a statement following the extraordinary meeting of the Joint Committee between the two sides, he warned Brussels is of the view that it does the opposite.